I'm on my way to probably one of the last home shows of the year. And one of the things I was thinking about, because I have one team right now that's doing really, really well. And I have another team that's not doing so well. And part of that's due to the fact that they're new consultants. Part of it has to do with the fact that they're in a more hyper-competitive market. But one of the things that I'm a huge fan of, and I think about this in boxing terms. When it comes to some of the top-level boxers, one of the biggest things that they do is they watch fight tape. So, Mike Tyson, for example, was huge on that. He'd watch tapes of other fighters to see what they did, to see how they acted, to see how they reacted, and how he can mold himself to be better against fighting against that type of fighter. And in sales, I believe in doing the same thing. And there's a couple ways that you can do that. But what I love to do in sales, and it ties into one of the other videos that I put on this channel, and it's about being self-aware about the appointments you run. So I myself, especially when my team's struggling, I go and run appointments. And I always tell my salespeople, look guys, you're going to see me do some stuff really well, and you're going to see me do some stuff that's not so great. But the biggest thing I want you to know is that if you watch me do something that doesn't work or doesn't seem like it's effective, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see if you can see that and understand that and see that in the context of that customer. Because just like fight tape, understanding where those missteps happen prepare you for that type of fighter. Because I'm not going to say every customer is the same, but a lot of them share similar patterns. So if you get a customer who is incredibly price conscious, they might have certain patterns that you as a salesperson should be trying to figure out how to navigate around. And so when it comes to sales, one of the biggest things and one of the ways that you can execute this as a salesperson is by doing a couple different things. One of them is sales journaling. So reflecting on the appointment. Now, it's always hard to do that because, especially if there's egos involved, it may be hard for you to be more stepping away from that situation and not being biased about what you did or didn't do. But if you are a person who's okay or feels like you can put yourself in a position where you can be as unbiased as possible about your performance, that's helpful. And I look at that as the equivalent to a salesperson's fight tape in some ways. Because it's not necessarily, I understand it's their actions, but what I mean is, it's their way to navigate saying, this type of person followed this type of temperament, I did this, and this didn't land the way I wanted it to. What didn't land about that? What I think was that I didn't present the value in proving my product demonstration the way that I should have. And oftentimes, that right there can really lead to tremendous, tremendous leaps in salesmanship. Other things as well, and this is something that I was huge into when I was brand new into sales, is recording my actual demos, right? Just like fighters study fight tape of other fighters, they also study their own fight tape. They study their own sparring videos. If you follow this channel, you can see that I post on my channel itself tape of me, boxing or in the gym or even just sparring. There's a ton of sparring footage on this channel. And the reason for that, yeah, it's cool to see me do well for like 30 seconds burst before I gas out. But it's also for me to see what am I dropping my hand? What am I moving weird, or when am I over leaning? And those are things that I try to actively work on in the future. And for salespeople, if they can record themselves even just through parts of their pitch, parts of their interaction, and I'm not saying just do it as a one-off, although even just doing a one-off in some cases will lead to tremendous leaps. I'm saying do it on multiple appointments. Do it on appointments that you as a salesperson find challenging. Now, I work in exteriors, so I have salespeople selling roofing, windows, doors, siding, insulation. But in this circumstance, if you're a salesperson who struggles with selling insulation, for example, why not record some of that appointment? Why not put some of that appointment on tape and listen back to the way customers respond? Listen back to the way customers interact to you when you say certain things or do certain things in the house. Ultimately, one of the biggest things that helped me get very good at sales was tape. And it was reflecting on the appointment, sales journaling, recording some of my own pitches, and listening back and seeing where I could improve. And when it comes to things like boxing, that's something that I still actively do as well, to see where can I improve, what things can I work on, and this helps me set short-term goals to get better at that as a discipline, just like sales.